All right, you want to lose 30 pounds in 90 days? Yeah, I bet. Who doesn't? You want to do it and you want it to be extremely easy, of course. I can do this, I can make this happen, I can even show you, but the reality is, you know you, and I have a feeling I know you too. But anyway, welcome to Walk Talk Vent. Let's do this. Guys, when we last checked in on Chronically Stephanie, she was starting to feel what she thought might be a stricture where your food is kind of stuck there in your stomach and esophagus area, and it's probably uncomfortable and it probably leads to acid reflux, but I don't know for sure. But either way, this doesn't look like she's at home watching TV from her couch. It looks like she's in some sort of medical facility. I'm assuming it's a hospital. I'll shut up. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey, it's Stephanie. I am in the hospital for dehydration and having a possible stricture, which the doctor is going to do a scope tomorrow to see and fix if there is one. Just wanted to give you an update. I'm on fluids now, and I am bored in the hospital. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good. Nothing but ice chips for today, and that's about it. I should be going home around mid-afternoon tomorrow, and yeah, I just wanted to give a really quick update. One of the things I wanted to show you was the toilet in my room. It's hilarious. Hold on.
It's not really hilarious at all.
It's Stephanie. I had my endoscopy this morning, and they did find a stricture, so they stretched that out. I think I forgot to mention in my previous video what a stricture is. Basically, that's scarred tissue that formed in the new opening for my new stomach. So I guess it's pretty common around 6 to 8 weeks, anytime in between there, and I'm at 7, so I'm right on schedule. It was painless. It didn't take long, and I am recovering, eating some foods. I'm back on clear liquids, and I should be getting out of here in a few hours. So just wanted to come and update that all is well, and I will post again next week unless something.
No, she's going to post again here way before next week. Let's look at it now, shall we?
Hey, it's Stephanie. I am coming to you back again from the hospital. My nausea after eating continually has gotten worse, and I'm still throwing up after much of what I eat. And drinking makes me really nauseous too, so I'm back in the hospital to do another endoscopy and possibly stretch out any stricture if it may have gone back to the size it was after the last procedure. So here I am in the hospital again, stricture part 3, 2. Anyways, I just wanted to do an update, and I'll have the procedure tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, so.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Mwah! I'm right there. Hey, one more. One more. Let's hear one more.
Hey, it's Stephanie. I am done with my procedure. Sorry, turn the TV off. And the doctor didn't find another stricture, and so they just scoped me and weren't able to fix anything, which in some ways is good, but in other ways it's really frustrating because I don't know what's causing my nausea and vomiting. So I'm being referred to my primary care physician, and hopefully we'll figure it out from there. Back on clear liquids, and that's about all I have for an update right now.
I didn't want to say anything, but you know how I'm always talking about aliens? I'm afraid that there's an alien inside of her. So we'll be seeing her give birth to that here in the upcoming week. I didn't want to ruin it, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, grab your shoes. It's time for us to go for a walk.
Let's go over the rules.
Yeah, let's go over the rules. So with any diet and exercise routine, the first thing you want to do is call your doctor and make sure he or she is okay with you drinking water, walking every day, and avoiding sugar, because they might not want you to do those good things. So the 3 rules are this. Number 1, we're going to try to walk 30 minutes every day. And what I mean by that is we are going to walk 30 minutes every day. Number 2, we're going to drink water every day. And if you can't find the time, here's an assignment for you. 10 a.m., bottle of water. 1 p.m., a bottle of water. And 5 p.m., a third bottle of water. And with every one of your meals, drink a bottle of water. Let's get hydrated together. Number 3, we avoid sugar every single day. If any one of these 3 rules are broken, we observe the 2/3 rule, which simply states we observe the other 2 of the 3 rules, always. Now here's the cool thing. Because we walk every single day, we can take a day off from walking whenever we want or whenever we need. Because we drink water nonstop every day, we can take a break from water once in a while. It's not that huge of a deal. And because we avoid sugar every single day, we can occasionally have a piece of cake with the family or a candy. Because we don't eat sugar, we can. You know what I mean. Anyway, join me on this 90-day challenge. We're gonna drop 30 pounds. I can do it, you can do it, we can do it. So, with that being said, let's do this. So today, up at the junior high school here, they're having a softball game. So a bunch of parents are out with their kids watching the softball game. That's a real great way to stay healthy. And if you get your kids and your teenagers playing sports, I'm all for that. What a great way to start a healthy routine in your life. Sports usually involve multiple days a week where you're going to practice with your teammates, which builds camaraderie, gets your teamwork up to where it needs to be for you to compete. And then on top of it all, the parents get to go out and watch their kids play softball. Pretty cool. So I think they're playing softball up here. Some neighbors are out in the backyard barbecuing and listening to music. It's always good to get outside. And yes, I was right, they are playing softball. So that's very cool. How exciting. You know, some women's sports suffer financially at the professional level, but one sport that I love even more than the men's version, which is baseball, is women's softball. Absolutely love the game. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing better than postseason pro baseball. So it's not that I don't like baseball, I do, but I really enjoy watching softball, especially the Lady Devils, if they go far towards the Women's College World Series, you know. I hope you're having a good day. Today I would have been out here walking about an hour or so earlier, but my battery was dead and I forgot to charge it the last couple days, so charged it up, and it's such a beautiful day that I'm almost glad I delayed. The sun just feels wonderful, and if you're in a state where the weather's kind of not so great today, I wish you were here then. You would really love feeling what I am. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the drug Ozempic. Some people have to take Ozempic, you know, because medically they are prescribed it and need it. And then some people have been taking Ozempic to lose weight.
And apparently it is super successful at helping them lose weight. And if you're somebody who is taking Ozempic and you've lost a lot of weight on it, please put some comments down in the comment section. But I'm going to talk about it today from a cautionary point of view. I understand that it's on pace to become the most profitable drug in American history. And this drug comes with quite a few side effects, but the number one side effect is pretty rapid weight loss. There's other issues with it that are kind of concerning. Oprah Winfrey and a lot of, Hollywood celebrities and movie stars and such swear by it. So whenever you have Hollywood behind anything, right, and it's on commercials all the time, so they predict that pretty soon, shortly into this 2024 year, that I believe it will become the most profitable of all the drugs ever produced. Here's a scary thing. If your insurance covers the drug, then I guess you're in okay position. But if for some reason you lose your insurance and you go to another insurance that perhaps doesn't cover the drug, from what I understand, it can run a tab of up to $15,000 per month. Some other disconcerting news that I've heard about Ozempic and Wegovy is that it looks like a big percentage of the weight that you lose is actually muscle. So that's kind of something that I think once again boils down to this. If you absolutely have to take this drug because your immediate health depends on it, and you've talked to your doctor about it, and you've talked to your specialists about it, and you feel like it's the only thing you can do, then do it, right? However, if you're in a situation where you're willing to try 90 days with me, just give me 90 days. Let's see if we can get you losing weight. A lot of times we make it sound on TV, and when they talk to doctors, they make it sound like, hey, this is genetic, this is beyond you, this is something that runs in your family, you're just designed to be the way you are, right? But we can still fight it, That's part of being young, right? And if youngness and age is just a number, then let's fight it. Let's stay young. I'm 47, but on certain days I still feel like I'm in my 20s. And I'm sure you guys are the same way, right? You don't always feel your age. At least I hope not. Such a beautiful day out. And on another note, come to find out that Weight Watchers, which all through my life, Weight Watchers was that one brand where you could, you just knew they were going to talk about eating sensibly and diet and exercise, right? I believe they have frozen meals in the frozen section at the grocery store still to this day. But apparently, they can now prescribe Ozempic as part of their services for their clients. And when I heard that, I just thought, wow, that's really interesting. Because, sometimes our science knows a little too much. Because if the scientists and the doctors and all the experts are saying, hey, there's nothing you can really do about this, this is just something that you can only prolong, it's just destined to happen, I just don't know if I believe in that, because before we had that science and knowledge, we just always felt like there was some personal accountability and we had to lose weight. So my question for you is, are you willing to fight it with me for at least 90 days? I believe in what I'm doing, but it doesn't necessarily mean you do. But I need you to give me 90 days, and with regards to walking every day, I need you to at least to give me 15 to 21 days, because from what I understand, it takes the human body and mind about 15 to 21 days to get addicted to something, to have it become habit forming. And if you can get to the point like I have, where you just absolutely need to go outside for a walk, you're going to notice that on days like today, where the sun just feels wonderful, where there's a gentle little breeze that just feels, God, it feels like air conditioning. It's just incredible. By the way, I was able to squeeze into a pair of jeans today. Keep in mind that one of the things that I always recommend, because you never know if you're going to ditch this and go back to your old ways, is if you do start losing weight, don't necessarily ditch your old wardrobe. Just in case something happens where you do end up quitting, at least you can go back to your old clothes. Now that's an interesting thought that I posed there, because it makes you kind of think, are you serious about this? Because if you're really, really serious, once you start losing weight, you might reward yourself by getting rid of those old clothes. But I always look at it for what it is. People are people. And if you have an expensive, nice wardrobe of clothes, just because you can't fit in them, doesn't mean there might not be a situation in the future where you can. So, especially with shoes, I wish I would have kept some of my really nice leather shoes through the years. But a lot of times I would just kind of say, it's a new year, I'll get rid of these and get something new. But some of them were in really good shape, so something to ponder. There's a book called The Dorito Effect, and I was watching some YouTube videos on it. It's fascinating. Apparently, in the 1950s, and from that point till now, scientists and chemists have been trying to find artificial ways to make foods taste better. And apparently Doritos used to start off with just a light layer of salt, and they didn't really sell that well. But through experimentation, they slowly got a seasoned chip to taste like a taco. And for whatever reason, people loved it. They never looked back. I was born in the mid-70s, so I've grown up with Doritos, and I'll be honest, they are by far my favorite brand. It's just kind of interesting to know that there's a lot of science and tech that went into that Dorito to make it that way. You know the crumbs at the bottom of the Dorito bag? Everybody, since I was a little kid, would always say, I love the crumbs at the bottom of the Dorito bag. That's where all the addictive chemicals are are rounded up to, if you think about it. So yeah, very super interesting. But you want to know something? The author of that book, and his name escapes me, let me look on my cheat sheet here. Mark Schatzker is the author of The Dorito Effect. He makes it sound like back in the day, even things like chicken tasted better. So chicken back in the day, according to a video I saw with Mark, he said that back in the day, all you'd need is a little salt and pepper, and chicken tasted unbelievable. Now, I guess because we've made our chicken through steroids and stuff, we've made them bigger, quicker, they kind of taste duller, which, maybe that's so. And apparently, because of that, we've had to flavor our chicken with different seasonings and stuff. And all these seasonings end up having an addictive effect on our mind, on our hunger. And so I guess the thought that I want to share with you is, if we do look at sweets and these foods that are bad for us as a drug, then it would make sense that that we would want to maybe try to change that a little. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to substitute. Because here's the thing, if you avoid sugar, then pretty soon even a dull green banana will taste very sweet. Something happens to our taste buds when we quit overusing them with sweets and sours. I'll put the Dorito in the sour category. What happens with me is I'll eat my breakfast. Sometimes it'll be a bowl of Captain Crunch cereal. Sometimes it'll be a sweaty bacon and eggs, with toast or a tortilla type of breakfast. I say sweaty, I should say greasy, right? And I love that stuff. Sometimes it'll be a bagel with cream cheese. But what I'm doing for this 90 days is I'm substituting over. So instead of Captain Crunch, I'm eating cornflakes without any sugar in them. You know what I mean? I'm eating Rice Chex without any sugar. Just basically a plain, plain Jane, no sugar type of cereal. Sorry for anyone named Jane, no disrespect. What happens is, after you do that for a couple of weeks, you quickly find out that eating plain cereal, or another favorite I go to is plain oatmeal. Have you ever eaten plain oatmeal in your life? If you eat plain oatmeal, it still takes care of those hunger pangs in the morning, but it's so easy to just have one packet because it doesn't taste the best. We need to play a little bit of a mind game with our mind to get us away from the sweet stuff. Because see, one bowl of Captain Crunch cereal, if you wake up early, an hour later could lead to a second bowl real easily. And if you've ever done that in your life, please write it in the comments where you end up eating more than one bowl of cereal, right? Because obviously when that's happening, it's not happening because you're hungry. You just like to feel the taste on your tongue, so to speak, you know? So what we want to do is we want to get rid of your Captain Crunch for something that's dull, like cornflakes without the sugar. Yeah, I'm not saying get rid of Captain Crunch for Tony's Frosted Flakes. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave Tony's Frosted Flakes to him. He's a tiger. Don't mess with his Frosted Flakes. I want you to eat cornflakes that have no sugar in them. And I'm telling you, something bizarre is going to happen. Because you're avoiding sugar, when you eat the dull cornflakes, you're actually going to taste the little bits of sugar that are in the cereal itself. Because if you do turn it to the side of the box, you'll notice it still has a couple grams of sugar, okay? I think they do that because otherwise it would taste salty, okay? It's a nice energy food. You'll start to see food as energy. And again, we're not doing it forever. There's going to be a time in the future where you'll break down and have a bowl of Captain Crunch, okay? But I need you to do this for me for 90 days. We need to get your weight going in the right direction. In the morning, with that Captain Crunch, it's real easy to multiply problems because, you know, there's a nice big glass of chocolate milk. What I need you to do is just make it regular white milk, okay? And the orange juice, let's go ahead and have a pre-scripted bottle of water or glass of water. So all of a sudden your breakfast that consisted of a sweet cereal and a sweet drink now involves a better option. And right when you're done with that breakfast, you're going to take a walk, right? Because we always walk before we go to work. And for at least the first 15 to 21 days, I need you to walk every single day. The walking is more important than the other rules, but don't forget about the 2/3 rule. If you don't walk, you still drink water for the whole of the day, you still avoid sugars for the whole of the day. If you eat something sweet, you still drink water for the whole of the day, you still take your walk for the whole of the day. And even if you drink Coca-Cola, which is not water and it is sweet, so you're technically breaking 2 rules, well, you're still going to immediately go right back to water. So don't drink a second and third and fourth serving of Coke. And if you do, you can make up for it by doing a half hour of extra credit. So when you get home from work, before you step inside your house, unless you have to pee. If you have to pee, you have to pee, you know what I mean? But before you step foot in your house, take a half hour walk. And just know that misery loves company. So while you're miserable doing that, until you get addicted to it, I'm doing it with you. And I'm already addicted to it. It's fun, it's easy. The embarrassing thing sometimes is holding the camera, but you want to know what? There are so many YouTubers, and half the people in America probably have tried a YouTube channel, that nobody cares. You need to remember that nobody cares about any of this except you. And if you do drop 30 pounds or more, you might be in a situation where the people that have been ignoring you, making you feel like you're invisible, they might start taking notice of you. there's a lot of positives that can occur. You might be the type, unlike me, where I like to walk alone, you might be the type that really needs a walking partner. Take advantage of Jesse. I'm your guy here. I'm going to be here every single day. Speaking of which, if you really want to make yourself feel good while you're walking, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and thumbs up right away. Thumbs up right away. And don't be afraid to share this with your friends and family. They might be feeling similar to you, where they really know they should do something. They're thinking about buying a gym membership where they're never going to go, you know. And again, I have a gym membership at Planet Fitness. You can get one for a small cost each month. That way, if it ever rains or snows or there's inclement weather, hopefully you can still, almost fell there. Hopefully you can still make a trip to your Planet Fitness and walk for a half hour on their treadmills. If you can't afford that, then whenever you miss a day of walking, I'd really like you to try to make it up with extra credit. For some of you that don't drink too much water or have a hard time drinking it, I gave you an assignment to drink at 10 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 5 in the afternoon. Make sure you keep drinking water. Very important. And you'll know you're really hydrated if your urine starts getting clearer and clearer. Some of you, you ever go to the public urinal as a guy and the person before you maybe didn't flush, right? And so the urinal has like this amber colored, piss in it. You don't want that. That shows you that you're being dehydrated, or you are dehydrated, and you need to drink some water, no doubt. Hey, by the way, in those videos I was diving into this morning, some say that 2/3 of America is overweight, and some say up to 80% of us are overweight. The reality is sometimes we're a little bit pudgy and sometimes we're a little bit skinny, right? Let's figure out what makes us skinny. Let's go back to when we were in grade school and we walked to school every single day. And when school was done, we walked home, because that's what we're pretty much going to be doing. By walking every single day, we get our caloric burn going. We start to lose weight. And in another couple days, I'll weigh myself again. The first time I weighed myself, it was 184, and I was looking at the video again. I might have read my my eyes aren't the best. I might have read my scale wrong. I might have been closer to 188. So either way, when I get on that scale and record it the next time, I'm going to be experiencing one of two things. Either I'll be pleasantly surprised because I'll have lost a couple of pounds, or I'll be totally not surprised and I'll have lost 0. This is one of those plans where you need to know, no matter how many walks you take, it just takes time, okay? Even if I've lost 4, 5, 6 pounds, that could very well be water weight or water loss, so it could lead to a net 0, okay? The main thing is look at the other clues. We spoke about this. Well, I'm going to be speaking about this in future videos, and I think I've spoken about this in a past video. There's clues. If your size 40 waist all of a sudden feels a little loose, if your rings on your fingers all of a sudden feel a little loose, if your shoes feel a little loose, if you need to go another hole on your belt, those are signs that your body's morphing and changing. If you're walking a little bit faster, put it in the notes. People need to know that, hey, I'm not alone. My first day I walked extremely slow. Now I feel like I get twice as far as I did the very first day I walked. Now keep in mind, the very first day I walked doesn't really count because I've always been a walker. But even now, I'm doing it a little bit more fast, a little bit more deliberately. I feel like my arm can hold the camera a little bit easier. And I thought that I would get really nervous around people, but the reality is, it's just like when I was walking without the camera. There's just not very many people out here. And if you're walking, I promise you, no one's going to notice. Now, if you walk every day, some people might take notice, but you want to know what's going to happen? You're going to have somebody that's a neighbor come up and say, hey, I've been thinking about walking and I notice you walk every day. So walking might just lead you to finding your next best friend in the neighborhood. Now, at the same time, let's not be naive. There's bad people out there as well, So again, keep your guard up. Always keep your head on a swivel, especially if you're walking in a suspect neighborhood. If you are in a suspect neighborhood, think about going to your local mall and just walking up and down. You don't have to buy anything, and you definitely don't want to go to the mall and then reward yourself with a sweet drink or a piece of food that's totally unhealthy, Try to make healthy choices. Our game plan is substitutes. We want to be able to substitute. I did a video that I haven't posted yet, but it's of me making one of my banana smoothies. It literally only takes about 30 seconds to make it. It tastes delicious, especially when you're a couple days in on no sugar, because that banana is going to taste as sweet as you could imagine. And it's just such a healthier alternative to a milkshake or a donut or a glass of Coke, right? I'm always throwing Coke under the bus. A glass of Pepsi, okay? I think Pepsi's even sweeter than Coke, if I remember. I haven't been a full-time soda drinker in so many years, and what I mean by full-time is I remember back in high school, it was nothing to have a soda each day, And I always liked juices. The problem with juices is, you can get addicted to juices too, and all of a sudden you're drinking a whole bottle of Tropicana and there's added sugars in there, so it's really kind of cheating the system. If you can be strong with me for 15 to 21 days, you'll end up really enjoying this walk. And if you can be strong with me and get away from sugar for just 5 to 7 days, it'll get easier. Because believe me, there's going to be a piece of you that wants to cheat. And if you do cheat, immediately obey the 2/3 rule. Because otherwise, you're just going to say, to heck with the diet, to heck with the exercise plan. I'm just going to do what I do until God turns out the lights. Or as my grandmother said, until I kick the bucket. Let's see if we can prolong that day. Let's see if we can live a long time. I've got a granddaughter. I'd like to have more grandbabies. And I'd like to be able to watch them as they get older and play softball, or get older and play basketball, or whatever the sport might be, So I'm sure you're in the same boat. You want to be there for your grandkids, and you don't want to be the one in a wheelchair with oxygen going in your nose if you can avoid it. If you are already there, God bless you. I'm not poking fun. I'm just saying, for the rest of us, let's try to avoid that the best we can. Anyway, till next time, my friends.